Hi guys, welcome to Dragon's Cave. My name's Karen. Um, kind of excited today, silly, but I've actually got finally my Let's Resin chameleon powders. I've got this lovely dragon mould from Timu. So the plan is the dragon itself I'm going to do in this magenta. Then I'm going to do kind of sunflower petals around the edge in this golden. And the line inside there, I'm going to do in galaxy. And then there's like clouds here, there, and everywhere, which I'm going to use the blue for. So, I haven't opened these. I don't even know if they're sealed. Nope, excellent. Yeah, so see how well this works. I'm not very tidy, so I'll probably have a lot of cleaning up to do in between colours, but I'm trying my best not to overuse the powders because they're actually quite difficult to get hold of. Well, they are in Spain. Everywhere else they seem to be relatively easy. So I'm going to make sure this is very well brushed in. I've used chameleon powders before, of course, but never this brand. I have to try and remember where the cloudy bits are as well, so that I'm not wasting powder. And so that it doesn't look really silly when it comes out of the mould. So I'll fast forward the painting on of the powders. I'm not going to bother stopping the camera, I'll just fast forward it all for you. It means you won't have to listen to my waffling either. I'll probably carry on talking to myself. I generally do. I want to make sure every little bit is covered. I've had this mould for quite a while, just never actually got around to using it yet. Okay, so I'm going to stop here so I can sit down, finish this part off. I'll come back to you when it's all brushed in, tidied up, and ready for the next colour. See you in a bit. Okay, part one done, cleaned up. Next I'm going to do the petals with the golden. So, oh no, that's bizarre. So the magenta wasn't sealed, but the golden is. I suspect the seal came off inside the lid. Okay, so my switching sponge didn't do a very good job there either. Seeing a bit of red left on there. I'm going to have to change brushes. Let me see, what have I got here? Plenty of brushes. This is going to be a bit on the fiddly side, but we'll do it. For anybody who's interested in this mould, it's on Temu and it's called the Sunflower Dragon mould. As I discovered this morning when I hunted for a picture, so that I could see what I was doing. So again, I'll fast forward through this part so you don't have to listen to me rambling about inconsequential nonsense. Again, it is kind of important that you get this right up to the edges, because otherwise whatever colour you're backing it with is going to show through, and this is likely to be backed in black because it just makes the chameleon colours show up better. I do generally use white, but I think magenta in particular deserves a black background. Okay, so I'm going to switch the camera off now, carry on, finish this colour up, come back to you when it's cleaned up, and we'll get on with the next stage. See you in a sec. Hey guys, back again. Now we're going to go around this edge here with the galaxy. Oh, doesn't want to come off. Right, I have cleaned my brush. I'll double check that. Yep, that's fine. So I can be a little less careful with this one because I've already got the magenta and the gold on there. So they are the colours that are down already. Whatever the first colour is that you put on your mould is the colour you'll see. It doesn't matter if this goes over it slightly. Obviously, I still need to be a little more careful where the clouds are. But I will obviously need to do some cleanup again anyway around there. Getting my hand in the way now, aren't I? This galaxy doesn't show up too much on the mould itself, actually, so, or not from where I'm standing. You can see it on the screen, I believe, so that's the main thing. Actually, the main thing is that it shows up after I put the resin on it, but it looks okay. I've never used resin chameleon powders before. Not all chameleon powders are created equal. Some of the ones I've had from Temu have been absolutely great. Others have been, yeah, not so much. Some of them don't look like chameleon at all. Okay, so I'm going to need to pick the mould up to make sure I get all around the edges here. So it's fully covered. Overloaded my brush again now. So I'm going to go around, get these edges done, tidied up, and then I'll be back for the final coat of mica powder. Yay! So what I have noticed, I don't know if it's noticeable on screen, but if you hold it up, the mold up so the light is behind it, you can actually see, like here, where the powder hasn't quite taken properly. So I just need to make sure I put a little extra on there. Yeah, that's better. And you can see again here where it needs a little more. So, yeah, and again, just here. Some of it is actually a reflection of the shiny powder, but okay, so I'm going to go around, make sure all these little edge bits are covered and that I've cleared spaces where the clouds are going to go. Be back with you again in just a sec. Bye. Back again, guys. Final part. It's just getting some blue into these clouds. Well, it's the final part of the painting anyway. So this should be reasonably quick and easy, hopefully. I am slightly concerned about my choice of colours because I feel like the galaxy and the magenta are quite samey. I'm hoping that once the black is behind them, they'll look completely different from each other. Otherwise, I'm going to be a bit sad. I will check the picture to make sure that I was painting all the cloud parts. Once I've got this on and all dusted up, I will use probably nice fluffy brush to kind of brush it all in and make sure everything's completely covered. Obviously I need to get this done first. That'll just get off any loose powder that I've missed and make sure that it's properly into the mould. You know, it's not going to come loose. Nearly there. Let's have a quick look. You see, hadn't quite got it up the edges here. Nearly done. I need to get a bit more on there, that's nowhere near enough. All down to the angle you're looking at, really. If you don't pick it up and look at it from all angles, you'll miss bits. And then you'll be kicking yourself later. Or I do anyway. Or I would if I could actually kick anything. I'm a bit of a weed. Totally missed this piece. Just as well I picked it up. Okay, almost there. I'm going to double check all the edges here. And again, missed quite a bit up the sides there. Okay, I think that's everything. I'm just going to give it a quick tap over the bin to stop it, any loose powder floating about. Still get some, but so now just give it a quick going over with fluffy brush. Get that out from underneath there. Okay, I think that's got it all now. So I am going to, wash my hands, mix up my resin, and I will be back with you shortly. See you in a bit. Okay guys, I've got my resin mixed up. I have no idea how much this mould is going to take. I've mixed up 180, but I'm actually going to tip some of that off. And I will put it back in if I need more, because I think I've mixed up too much. And pour it off into another cup on the side here. So I'm going to use black pigment paste to colour the resin. It's been sitting for a while, so it'll need a good stir. I usually use mica powder, but I am starting to run a bit low on black, so mainly because I use so much of it. So that's pretty well mixed already, actually. So you get it all up with that. And you do need to make sure that you don't get mixed resin into your pigment paste, because it will basically cure in the pot, and then your pigment paste is useless. So I'm going to start with that bit. I think that'll be enough anyway. So let's get this mixed in. It's a cheap pigment paste that I got from Temu, but it does the job. It always seems like I need to use more than other resin artists do on YouTube, but I think maybe sometimes I don't mix it in well enough, and maybe they're using better quality than I am. Combination. It actually seems pretty good. So before I pour this, because there is a little bit of detail, I want to spray just a tiny bit of alcohol in there to make sure that it doesn't trap any bubbles. It's not too bad in terms of detail. I just want to get a little in the head there mostly. And because I've sprayed it, that will break the surface tension, so I'm not going to completely fill it. Start in the head there. It would make more sense, wouldn't it? Yeah, I'm not going to completely fill it because I need to move it onto my heat mat. So I'll get most of the resin in, and then leave a little space for my clumsiness. Then I'll move it onto the heat mat and then top it up there. Let that run around and find its way. Okay, so I have re-leveled my table, but it looks like the mould isn't particularly level. Just slightly worrying. I do know that my heat mat is also level, so if it's not level when it gets on there, I'll get wedge some bits of card or something underneath it, just to make sure that it dries out or sets, cures, whatever you want to call it, pretty level. So I'm going to leave it there because I know if I put any more in before I move it, it's going to end up all over the floor. It's going to be a right mess. So I'm going to move that over, make sure it's level, top it up, and I will be back with you for the demold. See you in a bit. Hey guys, ready for the demold now. This is still a little bit warm because it's only just come off the heat mat, so it's still a bit bendy. Just hoping I can get it out without doing any damage to it. Very carefully releasing the petals around the edge. I think it's in little places like this where I'm going to have difficulty demolding, but we shall see. And as I expected, despite the fact I hadn't fully filled it, I still managed to spill some on the way to the heat mat. I got it cleaned up before it set. My husband will never know. Okay, so that's that bit. Trying to do this in stages. As I said, it's only just come off the heat mat, so it's still warm, which means it's still bendy. But I'm impatient. So this is going to take a little longer than it would have done if it were allowed to cool down. And so far, this is where I'm going to have the problem, I think, because if I push it through, that might make it easier. Yeah, so it's a little bendy, but I'll be putting it on a flat surface until it's completely cured. The mould has come out pretty clean, so that's generally a good sign. So, wow. Now, considering I was worried about this colour being too samey for this one, it's obviously completely different. A few little bits here and there where I've got a little overspill that'll need tidying up. But on the whole, I am very, very happy with it. The colours are absolutely amazing, especially this magenta. I can see I kind of got my got slightly wrong here, and I got a little bit over in the blue there, but other than that, it's come out perfectly. I don't see any bubbles in it anywhere. So I will leave that to fully set, and then I will get you some photos. Hope you enjoyed that. I'm really, really happy. I love the colours. Just going to have to do a bit of this in daylight to see how they change. The mould has actually got some marks in it. I can see here. I have checked the mould and it is that, and not wasn't me, which is a little bit sad, but it's okay. Could have been much, much worse. So yeah, as I said, I will tidy up the edges, I'll leave it to fully set, and I'll get you some photos, and I will see you for the next one. Bye.